Hello folks, we're in Baker City, Oregon, and here is a Fiat Allis FR12 loader with an Iveco 8065 engine that's going to have to be rebuilt. So we're here to pull the engine out. We're going to take it back home with us. So just got to get the sheet metal off, get the pre-cleaner off, the stack off. I'll probably video after I get that stuff off of there, and then that stuff's not too interesting. So we'll get the sheet metal off of it, and then we'll start draining the fluids and pulling the engine. Laid everything in the way. Drop the camera. Filter restriction indicator line, I gotta take that off. Alright guys, so we got all the sheet metal off. Now we're gonna start getting things like, hold on a second. Here we go. I'm gonna get this off of here. Put you right here, I guess, for now. I probably should have squirted some oil. Let me squirt some penetrating oil there on that. Yeah, a couple bolts over there. exhaust muffler off. Pull the fan guards off. Let's see. That's the discharge line for the compressor. That's the, well, let's see. We can take that off. We can leave that on. It'll come with the engine. That line will come off there. Supply for the fuel. See if there's a shut off on the tank. Ether injection line needs to come off. So I guess first things first, one step at a time. Let's get these off here on the muffler, and then we can work it off there. Heavy son of a gun. Alright, so I'm taking stuff off here. Got the tank line, one of the compressor off, the return line I gotta get up there and get it off. Got that fuel line off there, the return coming from the injection pump. Got the supply line coming off the pan primer. Battery cables off. All these go up to the starter. Got the battery disconnect off. Got the ether injection line. This cable here. Well, I don't know. That's not going to be so easy to get to. Block heater. Got the ground off. There's a ground going from the disconnect to the block. Got that unhooked. Now this guard for this belt is going to have to come off. What do they got going on here? Down there's probably a nut on the bottom, I'm sure. That actually might be threaded. And then this, is this threaded? Could I get lucky enough, maybe? Guard bolts. Dump the water. Cordless 90-degree ratchet. The best situation for that. Comes in two on the bottom and the top. So, and then you just pull the halves out. So that's pretty easy. So the only thing I left on this side is this fuel return and this cable, which is going to be a challenge because the nuts clear up against the block. That's real fun. Anyway, this side here, heater hoses. Vent line coming off the radiator. So I got to devise a way to drain the water without making a huge mess, and my thought is turn this heater hose off. I wonder where this other end's going, if I could pull it off and just stick it in a bucket, you know? What's the old turbo doing here? It seems to be okay. Pull these lines off the alternator. Okay, I'm gonna lube these up with some pliers and turn these off. Okay, we're gonna try to, you can hold on if you want to, Stacy. I'm gonna start pulling on it and see what happens. They had a bunch of silicone or anaerobic sealer in there. That's why it was stuck like that. It actually may not be too bad to pick up on this end first. Yeah, that viewfinder, it'll go out on it, and then you gotta tap the back of it to see what you're looking at. Bolted to it too. Alright. Well, we gotta get the fill tube unbolted. They've got it bolted to the side of the bell housing. Okay, we got the brackets free, and I think we're all right now. Alright folks, there it is. You want to see the belly of the beast? There's the flex plate. It's kind of puzzling me. They got sealant on there and everything, and it had oil in there, but I don't really think they're supposed to be. I don't know for certain on this one. You know that, Stacy? I've never seen a torque converter. I've never seen a torque converter that was wet. There's no purpose for it to be wet. So I wonder if the input shaft seal was leaking, and I mean, there's no reason that housing should even be wet. So I wonder if we ought to slide that converter out of there and look at the seal. We'll just leave this right here. And I'll climb in there. Apparently that one doesn't just slide out of there. Thought it did. Huh. Thought it should just slide out of there, but most converters do. Huh. I sure usually like to put seals in them when I got just, you know, an input seal. So this bolt here is just going to hold this adapter plate that holds it to the flywheel on. I mean, these bolts here, you can actually take these torque converters apart and rebuild them. I don't understand why you don't want to come out of there. Might be one of them you might leave well enough alone, I don't know. Probably nothing on there about this, huh? I don't think there's anything in that engine manual about this. But look over here, Stacy. Well, I'll spin it to you. Look at these bolts. See how it's all beat up on the end? Yeah. Right here. That one is, well, something's happened in here before, and something was bouncing around in here. I'd love to get it out of there, but I don't know why. Most converters just slide out. You know, there'll just be a hub, and they'll spline onto a shaft, and there'll be a seal where the converter pilot goes in, and then it just slides in. I don't know if they've made this thing where you gotta disassemble it, or what's this hole here for? Huh. Well, folks, I guess we're gonna have to do a little research on that, because I don't know, it's not coming out of there unless it's just stuck in there. Figure out what's going on there. This is, where's the one that they, yeah, see, here's the one that they had the nut on the back side. One of these converter bolts, see, they've got these tabs on here. I see the tab's part of the plate, but they must have broke it off or something, because they had a bolt with a nut on there, which I guess don't hurt anything. Well, folks, I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do on that. I sure would like to put a seal on that while I got it out. But I think all we have really is an engine manual. We don't have a... Because I mean, that starter Look at the ring gear. I'll have to show you the ring gear, but look at the starter teeth. And it was definitely wet. Look at the oil all over the end of the starter. I mean, there's no reason to have a converter, the outside of the converter, wet like that. You know, it's not a wet clutch. So it don't really make much sense to me why that's wet unless they had a seal leaking. Yeah, there's oil standing in. Is that the rear? Is that hydraulic oil or? I can't tell. I can't smell anything ever since I had that COVID shit. The engine oil or hydraulic oil? It's kind of dark looking, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like the rear main seal might have been leaking.
Which wouldn't surprise me any.
Well, I guess I could rip the flywheel off of there. But I mean, there's a lot of oil in there. Can't tell if that's hydraulic fluid or if it's kind of dark looking. Cause that should be dry. I wouldn't understand why that would be a wet housing for just a torque converter. Cause all the fluids inside the converter, unless they've got some kind of drain hole. Well, you know what? No, there's no way. There's no way that that's supposed to be wet. No way. Because there's no drain. There's no drain on the bottom of that bell housing. There's no drain here anywhere. So the oil, yeah, I mean, it has no place to go. Let me look on the bottom down here. Yeah. There's nowhere for that oil to go unless, would it be going back into this hose? I'm not for certain on that. I'd like to... Man, I wish I had a little more information on that. Well... Hey folks, so me and Stacy were looking in the parts book and they show an exploded view of this torque converter, and it doesn't spline in there and have a pilot like a regular converter does. It actually has a gear. It's got a gear on the back side of that that's driven off another gear inside the transmission, and it's got a snap ring. It looks like you would have to disassemble the transmission, then pull the snap ring, then pull the converter, so that converter just doesn't slide out of there. And also on the parts breakdown, there was no seal there, so the only options that can be it's a wet housing because there's no seal there. So they must be, you know, flooding that bell housing to keep that converter cool as well as using the cooler. So that's my only guess there. I've never seen a wet one like that. It's kind of different, but maybe somebody else has seen plenty of those. Anyways, this is the first Fiat loader that I've had the engine out and had the converter exposed like that, so it's a little bit foreign to me. But anyway, so I guess when all else fails, at least you can look at the parts book and look at the breakdown on it. So anyways, I think I was actually explaining that here, but I don't know. Anyways, I'll make another video when we start rebuilding this engine. This is a dry linered engine too. This does not have wet liners, so I don't know if you guys have ever seen me do a dry linered engine. This is an example of another engine that uses dry liners is the old 354 Perkins. They use dry liners. So anyways, look forward to look for the upcoming video on the engine rebuild on this. Thank you.